Look at these YouTube thumbnails from 5 different creators. Or these Instagram posts from completely different fashion brands. Notice anything similar? A strange convergence is happening across digital media and beyond. Content that once reflected diverse creative visions is increasingly conforming to specific patterns. The saturated colors, the composition, even the emotional tone. And it's reshaping not just our screens, but our physical world. This isn't a coincidence. It's the algorithm aesthetic, the profound way recommendation engines are reshaping culture itself. What we're witnessing goes beyond simple trends. Spotify's algorithm processes 100 million listening events every day. TikTok's recommendation engine analyzes every frame of your videos. And Instagram's algorithm determines what billions of people see daily. The result? A 2023 Northwestern University study found that 83% of content creators admit to making specific design choices purely to appease algorithms rather than express their creative vision. When algorithms become the primary gateway to attention, they don't just distribute creative work, they reshape it. We're about to unravel the hidden mechanisms behind this transformation of aesthetics. Through major platforms, content creators, and cognitive science, we'll discover how mathematical formulas designed for engagement are creating perhaps the most significant shift in visual culture since mass media began. Recommendation algorithms began with simple goals: help users discover content they might enjoy. But as computing power expanded and data collection became more sophisticated, something fundamental changed. Today's algorithms analyze hundreds of variables. How long you pause on a video before scrolling, the exact moment you increase a song's volume, even how your engagement patterns shift throughout the day. This evolution has created powerful feedback loops. Consider music that performs well on Spotify. Between 2018 and 2023, songs in Spotify's top playlists show a 40% decrease in intro length and vocals that enter within the first 10 seconds 87% of the time. As artist Max Frost explained, "My producer literally told me, if you want streaming success, you can't introduce your song anymore. You need to be singing within the first 3 seconds." Perhaps nowhere is algorithmic influence more visible than on TikTok. The platform's recommendation engine analyzes over 200 signals from each video. Compare popular TikTok videos from 2020 to 2024, and you'll observe TikTok pacing, a specific rhythm that is characterized by quick opening hooks designed to prevent scrolling, rapid transitions timed at 1.5 to 2 second intervals, text overlays that appear at precise timing intervals. Even major brands like Chipotle and the Washington Post have adopted these precise patterns. As one marketing executive admitted, "Our editors specifically review all content for TikTok cadence before release." Instagram's algorithm has created perhaps the most visually identifiable algorithm aesthetic: increased color saturation, particularly blues and oranges, portrait compositions with faces positioned in the middle third, a narrowing range of facial expressions. A slight smile outperforms a full smile, specific color grading that maximizes contrast while maintaining warm tones. A designer who has worked with several major fashion brands explained, "We literally have algorithm-friendly versions of brand colors that we use only for Instagram." What's striking is how this digital aesthetic has leaped into our physical environment. Restaurants now design dishes specifically to be Instagrammable. Cafe interiors across global cities have adopted nearly identical aesthetics. Minimalist furniture, muted colors, particular styles of plants, and distinctive tile patterns, all optimized for social sharing. Entire neighborhoods now feature storefronts designed primarily for their Instagram appeal rather than their local context. In the music industry, Spotify's algorithm has become so influential that it's reshaping music composition. Producers track which song structures perform best, leading to observable patterns. Songs starting with vocal hooks rather than instrumental intros, choruses that hit within the first 30 seconds, down from 45 to 60 seconds historically, and shorter song lengths overall. As music producer Oak Felder described, "I've been in sessions where artists say, 'Make it more Spotify-friendly.' That's now music industry shorthand for a specific sound." What makes these algorithmic patterns so effective? Cognitive scientists point to several factors. First, recommendation engines optimize for immediate engagement rather than long-term satisfaction, favoring content that triggers rapid emotional responses. Second, algorithms create feedback loops that intensify over time. Content that performs well gets more exposure, encouraging others to emulate those patterns. Third, there's the paradox of digital abundance. With infinite content options, creators use increasingly exaggerated tactics, larger text, more sensational claims, brighter colors, to stand out. Yet, when everyone adopts these same techniques, the result is a new homogeneity at a higher level of intensity. For businesses, algorithmic conformity isn't just a creative choice. It's an economic necessity. In a digital landscape where organic reach has declined by 65% since 2016, brands feel immense pressure to play by algorithmic rules. A major fashion retailer reported that posts optimized for Instagram's algorithm received 340% more engagement than those designed purely for brand consistency. For companies where social platforms drive significant revenue, that gap is simply too large to ignore. Even large corporations with established brand guidelines have created platform-specific visual identities. McDonald's social media aesthetic differs remarkably from its television advertising, specifically engineered to perform well in algorithmic environments. For designers and content creators, the rise of the algorithm aesthetic has fundamentally changed professional practice. A survey of 500 professional designers found that 76% regularly make design decisions specifically to appease algorithms, often in conflict with their creative judgment. 5 years ago, we talked about designing for humans, explained a creative director at a major agency. Now we explicitly talk about designing for algorithms first, humans second. Job listings for designers now routinely request algorithm optimization skills, alongside traditional design capabilities. Universities report increasing demand for courses combining design principles with data analysis. Yet amidst this conformity, a counter-movement is emerging. Some brands and creators are deliberately rejecting algorithmic optimization, betting that distinctiveness will ultimately outperform conformity. Consider Bottega Veneta's decision to completely leave social media platforms, focusing instead on direct relationships with consumers. Or musician Bon Iver's continued creation of songs with unconventional structures that defy streaming optimization. These rebels believe that as algorithmic conformity increases, the value of distinctive content will actually grow. Early evidence suggests they might be right. A 2023 consumer study found that Gen Z showed increasing fatigue with content that feels designed for algorithms. Where does this all lead? 3 possible futures emerge. In the first, algorithms become even more sophisticated, developing preferences for increasingly specific types of content, leading to further aesthetic homogenization. In the second, consumers develop algorithm fatigue, becoming increasingly resistant to content that feels engineered for engagement, creating space for more distinctive approaches. The third possibility is more balanced. Platforms might recognize that diversity of content actually serves their long-term interests better than homogenization. Some early signs suggest this shift is beginning, with YouTube and TikTok adjusting algorithms to reward originality alongside engagement. The rise of the algorithm aesthetic presents a profound challenge. How do we balance the need for discovery with the preservation of creative diversity? For creators and brands, the challenge is finding the sweet spot between algorithmic viability and distinctive expression. The most successful will likely be those who understand algorithmic patterns deeply enough to play with and subvert them rather than simply conforming. For platforms, the challenge is developing recommendation systems that optimize for a broader set of values beyond immediate engagement. systems that can recognize and reward creative innovation. And for all of us as consumers, perhaps the most important step is simply awareness. Recognizing when we're being served content shaped by algorithmic preferences rather than human creative vision, and consciously seeking out experiences that broaden rather than narrow our cultural diet. The future of digital aesthetics won't be determined by algorithms alone. It will be shaped by the choices we all make about what we create, what we reward, and ultimately, what we choose to see. Liked that deep dive into the algorithm aesthetic? Subscribe now for more Business Sherlock investigations.